AI and aging. First of all, we would like to welcome our President, Professor Takio Ogawa, to giving his opening remark. Professor, time is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Today is ACAP monthly webinars days, and the topics is aging with AI. This is a very interesting topics. Our society is now on a stage of 5.0 society, and the one society 1.0 is a hunting society, but society developed, and now is a society 5.0 is focus on the many advanced integrations of the cyberspace and the physical space. And it must be a society that incorporates human-centered values. Then we discuss with you our hopes and anxiety to AI era. Our ACAP was established in Fukuoka City 21 years ago. At the beginning, 10 researchers and regional leaders who shared these missions in the 4 regions, Japan, Hawaii, South Korea, and China, and has now become the network of 1,400 mailing lists in more than 40 countries. The ACAP is a voluntary information sharing body open to people of all ages, abilities, and disciplines. The members are gerontologists, geriatricians, and educators globally, primarily in the Asia Pacific regions, dedicated to empowering older adults to maintain their physical, social, psychological, civic, economic, and environmental fitness so that they can continue to contribute to their families, their communities, and the society at large. Of course, active aging cannot be achieved through individual efforts alone. Active aging cannot be achieved without social effort. Therefore, we are holding monthly webinars and bulletins for sharing our knowledge and skills towards active aging societies. The rapid advance of artificial intelligence is surpassing even the transformative impacts of the digital technologies when it was first introduced to society. Today, AI is reshaping medicine, healthcare, employment, welfare, education, and daily life, offering new possibilities that were once thought unattainable. At this webinars, we will explore how AI can harness responsible and apply to the geriatrics and the gerontologists, and more importantly, how it can bring positive benefits to the lives of older adults. We are honored to welcome distinguished experts from around the world to share the insights and experiences on various aspects of aging with AI. Okay, and let's start the monthly webinars. And Chairman and Dahi, this is times for you.
Thank you. Ooh. Okay. Hello, everybody. A very warm welcome to our ACAP seminar on aging with AI. It is wonderful to see so many participants joining us from so many different countries in the world. And thank you all for taking the time to be with us. This indeed is a very timely and thought-provoking webinar And we hope that our discussion will bring a lot of sharing of experiences, lessons learned, and further thoughts on where we go from here. This webinar, as Professor Ogawa says, brings together the convergence of two very important global trends, population aging and AI. So it's very timely. And I'm very pleased that we are doing this on behalf of that ACAP is doing this. The question we are going to ask ourselves today is how can AI help us to age better? So this is a very thought-provoking question. And I think, first of all, we have to look, we are not, when we're speaking about aging with AI, we are not referring simply to using advanced technology. We're talking about how AI can become very practical partners in helping people to age well. AI can support older adults in many ways, as referred to by Professor Agawa. AI can help in monitoring health conditions, reminding people about their medication, detecting falls, and reducing loneliness, to assisting caregivers and enabling older people to remain independent in their own homes in our region. And we will hear more details later from our distinguished speakers. However, AI is not only about technology, it also raises some important questions. Will older people be willing to use AI? What factors encourages or discourages of the adoption? Here, I think the Singapore study is very interesting because it raises the issue of trust. How can AI be designed to be more inclusive, trustworthy, affordable, and for older persons, easy to use? How can we ensure that technology respects our privacy, our dignity, and human values? These are just as important as the technological aspect. So today's webinar will explore these issues and also from several complementary angles. Our speakers will share findings on research on the use of AI and attitudes towards AI among older persons, helping us better understand the opportunities, concerns, and factors influencing acceptance. We also hear about AI applications in elder care, including how AI is supporting healthcare professionals, caregivers, and older adults in maintaining health, safety, and independence. And finally, we will learn about the exciting developments in robotics, where intelligent robotic systems are increasingly assisting in daily living, rehabilitation, companionship, care services in a very human-centric way. So together, all these presentations will give us a broader understanding of how AI can contribute to healthy and active aging, while reminding us that technology works best when it complements, not replaces human care, compassion, and social connection. So I hope today's discussion will inspire new ideas, encourage collaboration, and help us all think about how AI can be developed and used responsibly to support people as they age. So with these opening remarks, I'm very pleased to introduce our first speaker, who is Professor Yang Jun from the Lee Kuan Yew Center for Innovative Cities, Singapore University for Technology and Design. Her research will examine how cities can support healthy aging, digital inclusion, and community resilience. Yanjun has published widely on digital divides and on inclusive development and policy engagement. Her current research examines how digitalization has shaped the everyday lives of older adults in rapidly transforming urban environments. So it is a great pleasure that I call upon Professor Chai Yanjun to do her presentation. Yanjun, please.
Thank you, Thelma. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to share my screen. Can you all
Yes.
see my slides?
Yes.
Great. Excellent. So thank you for the introduction and thank you for having me today. So today I'm going to share some of the findings based on our research project, which is also called Aging with AI, that was completed last month. Today, aging with mind no longer looks like a problem of access. Something else is going on, and that matters for every aging society. Singapore is going digital by default, such as health, transport, and payment. Many policy initiatives have treated digital exclusion as access and basic skills. But most older Singaporeans are now connected. So if access is largely solved, so why do benefits still bypass so many? We answer not with a survey alone, but by asking older adults to show us their digital lives through participatory action research methods. So let me first show you our study, the neighborhood, the people, and how photo voice, the participatory action research worked. So we focus on the Outram planning area in Singapore, which has the highest score in Singapore's social economy disadvantage index. So our research regarding photo voice approach took place from December 2025 to March 2026. We recruited 63 residents aged 60 and above through active aging centers and resident networks and clubs. And 40 of these recruited participants completed the task. So during the involvement, these participants photograph and videotape their everyday encounters with digital technologies for a week. So these participants uploaded about 1,500 photos, 200 videos. Then we conducted in-depth interviews with them in English, Mandarin, and Cantonese, which is guided by the show method. So our data analysis is framed by digital capital and convivial technology. So among the participants who completed the activities, most of them are women, most of them are Chinese, and mostly in their 70s. And 2/3 of these participants connected to an active aging center. Everyone on a smartphone, nearly all daily engaged with different activities. And the confidence of customer so our finding support analytical but not statistical generalization. So among the actual submission, we can see that the participants share their experiences regarding the scam issues, anti-scam screen, AI appearing inside the messenger, a false software update, a shopping app that crowded with vouchers. Under each, the participants' own words presented their experiences with these visuals. So each photo will invite the participants into an invitation to share more about their experience. So from here, we highlight 5 key findings from access, trust to AI. So among all the photos and videos that submitted, we coded all 1,167 relevant submissions and produced 1,374 codes. So some of the submissions are coded under different, for more than one themes. And we produced these, therefore we actually generated these 10 major themes. Digital convenience and independence dominates over half of all the codes. And government digital services is the second. So frequency here checks what is easy to photograph and videotape, not what matters most. For instance, the institutional critique is under 1% of the photos and videos, but ran deep in conversations and interviews later. So the analysis leans on both narratives as much as the count. So finding one is access largely is solved right now. Every participant completed this participatory action research approach on a smartphone. But their daily use is the norm. Confident, moderate, but real. So the first level divide highlighting access, and the second level digital divide regarding basic skills are largely addressed in this group. But what is the first level divide? So connection into real benefits and who can absorb the consequences when something goes wrong. That is where inequality now lives in the age of AI and digitalization. So finding two, engagement is selective and negotiated. So the same person can be passionate in one domain, but a refuser in another. For instance, leisure was the single largest goal, and health self-management is confident and habitual. WhatsApp is social infrastructure these days for these older adults. But when stakes turn financial or civic, cautions takes over. So many of these older adults are delegating or avoiding or capping. So the divine line is not skill, it's perceived state. So the heart of this study is trust, not skill, is the operative currency. So from the left chart, we can see that scam risk is the top barrier, accounting for 37.5%, and limited skills accounted for 70.5%. So scam fear deters 5 times more than the lack of skill for these older adults. So this is not irrational, because in 2025, victims aged 65 and above lost on average over 37,000 Singapore dollars per scam case, highest of any age group. And what draws people in is the convenience, support, designed to learn. But building trust still very important than just teaching the apps. So continue with the findings. 3 is the cautions of these participants is the expertise. So a self-taught security repository. So 100 Singapore dollar in the e-wallet. So a scam can only cost $100. In known and unknown numbers, rules high stakes tasks to trusted children, friends, and grandchildren, using scam shield, face ID. So the conventional assessments score these people as low skill, but in risk management terms, these seniors are sophisticated. So finding 4, the state is the primary mediator of digital later life. Government digital services is the second largest theme as among our coded submissions. So the older adults have been using SingPass, Health Hub, Health 365, CDC vouchers for their daily routines. So trusted often more than commercial platform. But centrality cuts both ways. When design assumes uniform literacy, such as English or family on standard, and exclusion follows. So points and penalties steer behaviors. We draw a reward and federal engagement switches off. Opportunity and responsibilities sit in the public sectors. And finding 5, the percentage and usage of AI are polarized. A small confident group of these participants uses generative AI, such as ChatGPT, Gemini for translation, information, and creative engagement, and cross-check answers between all these tools. And the other pole, categorical avoidance, distrust mostly secondhand. They told me not to use it. Under 5% of submission fear AI. feature AI, yet AI is already ambient in search, health platforms, and fraud detections. The AI divide is forming early and governed less by access, but by calibrated trust. So what does all this mean? First, the tension that run beneath all five findings, then five priorities for consideration. Beneath all findings run one tension, such as what participant I share with us, everything is on the phone. And when hers fell, my heart felt like it dropped. So the convenience dependence paradox, the tools that free are also bind. As non-digital alternatives are withdrawn, voluntary adoption hardens into inability to opt out. So some non-use is a considered choice. The challenge is stop the line between chosen non-use and forced exclusions from disappearing. So moving beyond assets, there are five priorities. First, build trust in the trust infrastructure, not just skills. And second, age inclusive, legal design enforceable for government platforms, not the standards, but the guidelines. And third, people make them the standards and not the so keep meaningful, non-competitive, permanent equity guarantee. And four, fund learning where it already happens, such as the active aging centers, the peers family, the social ecosystems that existed for these older adults. And fifth, teach AI literacy that calibrate trust against over trust and blanket or pure avoidance. So where nearly every older adult is connected, digital inclusion hinge on trust, relevance, and convivial design, with older adults as participants, not just as the end users. And that's my sharing for today. Thank you.
Okay. Can you switch back to Thelma? Okay. Okay. Susanna, are you switch back to Thelma? Okay, here I am. Thank you very much, Yanjun, for your very, very insightful, and I like the empirical study, giving us with data and solid information. I think your findings are very important, especially that now in Singapore, you're talking about the Singapore context, we have access, but use of AI is governed less by access than by what you call, I like the word calibrated trust. So it's very important to build trust, especially among older adults. And I think another point struck me in the context of Singapore is the importance of government digital services. So when we go to the governments, we should have to show the importance that governments can help older adults use AI by use of very important digital services and yet not alienate them. Okay, having said that, you can fill your questions, but we will be taking all questions after all the speakers have spoken. So let me come now to our next presenter, which is also a very, very interesting presentation. This is by Professor Pei Shan Yang. She is from Taiwan and is a faculty member in the Department of Social Work at National Taiwan University. She specializes in aging, long-term care policy, and dementia-friendly community development. Her research focuses on digital aging, productive aging, and integrated health models for older adults. So in addition to a very, very interesting presentation, Peishan will show us a very short video, but it'll be very short. So we look all forward to a very, very interesting presentation. Peishan, the floor is all yours. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Selma. I think my presentation will contain very similar messages as Yang Jun in Singapore. Okay. It is my great pleasure to join this ACAP webinar today. And I would like to share our observations in Taiwan on baby boomers' experiences and expectations with AI. Artificial intelligence is developing at an extraordinary speed, while younger generations often adapt quickly to new technologies. Baby boomers are now entering later life and facing a completely new technological environment. This raises several important questions. How do baby boomers perceive AI? What kinds of AI applications do they actually want? And how can AI contribute to active and healthy aging? Today, I will share some thoughts from research, recent developments in Taiwan, and our experiences with social robots. Let me begin with the concept of active aging. The World Health Organization introduced this framework in 2002. According to WHO, active aging means optimizing opportunities with health, participation, and security in order to enhance quality of life as people grow older. Next, please. Notice that active aging is much broader than simply living longer. It emphasizes continuing to participate in society, maintaining good physical, mental, and cognitive health, and enjoying a meaningful life. Today, I believe AI has the potential to support all three of these goals. AI can assist with health management, facilitate social participation, and improve safety. However, whether these benefits can actually be achieved depends on how AI is designed and how older adults are supported in learning to use it. Next, please. Human history has experienced several major technological revolutions. According to a recent report, Dr. Theodore Modis says artificial intelligence represents another major milestone in the evolution of human civilization. Interestingly, the rapid rise of AI coincides with the life course of the baby boomer generation. Baby boomers have already experienced dramatic changes during their lives, from television to personal computers, from the internet to smartphones. Now they are encountering AI. This makes them a particularly interesting generation because they have witnessed enormous technological change, yet many are also facing the challenges of aging. Next, please. Why should we pay special attention to baby boomers? First, they are the generation currently entering older age. The decisions they make today will influence how they experience aging over the next 20 or 30 years. Research also tells us something encouraging. Healthy behaviors adopted around age 50 continue to influence health and well-being at age 80. These include regular exercise, lifelong learning, maintaining optimism, and engaging in meaningful activities. Another important finding is that baby boomers do not simply search for information online. Instead, they rely heavily on their social support networks. They learn from family members, friends, colleagues, and community organizations. This suggests that introducing AI is not simply a technological issue. It is also a social process. Learning AI together may be just as important as learning AI itself. Next, please. Many experts now recommend a prevention-first approach to healthy aging. Rather than waiting until problems occur, we should help older adults remain healthy, independent, and socially connected. AI offers exciting possibilities. It can support personalized health maintenance, medication reminders, exercise coaching, cognitive stimulation, and social companionship. However, technology is not a perfect solution. Many older adults still have concerns about privacy, data security, trust, and the possibility of becoming too dependent on technology. Therefore, successful AI adoption requires careful design that respects older users' needs and preferences. Next, please. Although AI has become a popular topic, our observations suggest that baby boomers' actual use remains relatively limited. Many have heard about ChatGPT and the generative AI. Some have even tried using these tools. However, compared with younger generations like the Z generation, their frequency of use is much lower. The main barriers are usually not lack of intelligence or motivation. Instead, many simply lack opportunities for practical learning and ongoing support. This tells us that AI literacy should not focus only on teaching technical skills. It should also build confidence through repeated practice and supportive social environments. Next, please. Let me briefly introduce the situation in Taiwan. Taiwan officially became a super age society in 2025, meaning that more than 20% of the population is age 65 or above. Compared with many countries, Taiwanese older adults generally have relatively high educational attainment. At the same time, the Taiwanese government has made AI one of its major national development strategies. The 10 AI Initiatives Promotion Plan aims to promote AI across many sectors. Taiwan is also developing its AI robotics industry and encouraging innovative applications. This provides a favorable environment for exploring AI applications in aging societies. Next, please. Our interest in social robotics actually began several years ago. In 2018, our research explored what kinds of robot voices baby boomers found most acceptable and enjoyable. One interesting finding was that older adults did not simply want robots to sound young or highly intelligent. Instead, they valued voices that felt friendly, trustworthy, and comfortable. This reminds us that successful AI design depends not only on technical performance, but also on emotional communication. Next, please. More recently, Taiwan established the Social Robotics Society and launched Living Lab activities. In our Living Lab, older adults could interact directly with social robots in a public library environment. Rather than observing demonstrations, participants actively experience the robots themselves on site. For example, they joined exercise sessions, conversations, games, and other activities. One of the robots we used was Cabby. The atmosphere was relaxed and enjoyable. Participants were curious and eager to explore what the robot could do. For many of them, this was their very first opportunity to interact closely with the social robot. Next. Next, please. Next, please. Shall we show the video, please? It's a very brief
one
video.
moment, please.
You can see the social robot happy on the table. And we have young students in the same group as the older adults. They are very curious about the robot performance and will give robot some instructions as well. Okay, I think we can stop and go back to the PowerPoint. This all happens in a public library in New Taipei City. Okay, we can go back to the PPT. Thank you. Okay, what did we learn? Overall, the responses were surprisingly positive. Participants enjoyed having Cabby as a companion during activities. Even more interestingly, many participants were willing to work together with the robots. Whenever the robot made mistakes or gave incomplete instructions, participants naturally helped fill in the gaps. Rather than criticizing the robot, they actively collaborated with it. Some participants even believed the robot possessed abilities that it actually did not have. This suggests that people sometimes project positive expectations onto social robots. Their experience is shaped not only by the robot's actual capabilities, but also by their own imagination, trust, and emotional engagement. Next. Participants also shared many expectations for future AI. Next, please. They hoped robots could communicate more naturally and support genuine two-way conversations. They wanted robots to better understand human emotions and intentions. Many also expected deeper companionship rather than simple task completion. At the practical level, participants suggested many useful functions. For example, medication reminders, appointment reminders, emergency alerts, financial record keeping, and the daily assistance. These expectations suggest that older adults see AI not merely as a machine, but as a partner in everyday life. Next, my final conclusion. Let me conclude with 5 key messages. First, technological development is advancing extremely rapidly. Second, baby boomers are generally open to AI and have high expectations for social robots. Third, many are willing to live with robots, not as replacements for people, but as assistants and companions. Fourth, successful AI adoption depends not only on better technology, but also on better education and community support. Finally, because baby boomers rely heavily on social networks for learning. Investing in AI literacy programs and community-based learning opportunities will be essential. In other words, if we want AI to promote healthy aging, we must design not only better technology, but also better learning environment. My next and the last slide. I would like to finish with 3 simple words. Next, please. Contact, learn, and engage. These 3 ideas summarize what we observed. Older adults are willing to contact new technologies, they are willing to learn, and they are willing to engage with AI when it is meaningful, trustworthy, and socially supported. I believe that AI should never replace human relations. Instead, AI should strengthen human connections and help people live healthier, happier, and more meaningful lives. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Peishan. Back to Thelma, please. Thank you, Peishan. Well, the camera is shifting to me. I want to thank Peishan for her very, very interesting presentation, very insightful and very meaningful, and also a lot of information on where to go from here. Again, this has been based on empirical research, which is something that we have to do to learn more about AI and its uses. I was very touched actually by the smart Taiwan concept and the use of social robots. And of course, thank you for introducing Cabby to us. I think we look forward to learning more from Cabby and all the work you are doing. And for the information of our participants today, next year, the ACAP annual conference will be held in Taiwan. And we can go there firsthand to learn about what Peishan has been telling about, all the social robots and the living lab. Yeah, we really look forward to that. And also how to contact, learn, and engage. So thank you very much, Peishan.
Thank you, Thelma.
Okay, I'll pass you over to Dong-hee now. Dong-hee?
Yeah, thank you, Thelma. We have 3 more very distinguished speakers today. So the AI, artificial intelligence, is rapidly becoming part of daily life. So we study more and more about this issue for older person. So I'm very happy to introduce to you Professor Myo Niang is to you. He is a professor, Department of Global Health Research, Juntento University Graduation School of Medicine, Tokyo, Japan. He leads in the digital inclusive health aging community across culture in the 10 countries from 2021 to 2030. It is a big project and connect across the globe. His research and teaching graduate students focus on the health aging and the police mainstreaming digital inclusion as a super social determinant. He was also the futuristic panel in Osaka Expo 2025 with a tag gained discussing AI and aging. And the Myo, time is yours.
Very much. Thank you very much for introducing me very kindly. I will share the slides now. It is. Okay, can you see the slides?
The microphone speak. It's more
Yes.
the up volume, please.
Okay. How about this is now? It's
Thank
okay.
you.
Okay, thank you very much. Today I would like to share this topic: population aging in smart cities and empowering AI inclusion. So my name is Mio from Juntano University. This is the Juntano University, and the QR code is the link to the DHAC study. As Dr. Tony said, that digitally inclusive, healthy aging community studies. First, I like to highlight this population changes, societal and technology changes. And last Friday, the Professor Ogawa was in Juntano University teaching my students, and we learned from him. He said that many of the cities around Japan are experiencing depopulation. The size of populations are declining. So it was making me very much alarmed. And at the same time, we noticed that the number of the people over 60 will reach to 2.1 billion until 2050. And then we know that many cities try to become the smart cities. And if you look at this data, we can see the Tokyo and Yokohama in Japan is home to largest numbers, 337 millions of the older person. So that a large number of cities experiencing depopulation. At the same time, many cities are investing to be smart city. So we have a question that AI is booming in this year. Whether investing in smart city can draw back the outward migration, attract the accident, and prevent the depopulation. And this will be a very good investment. I talked with some of the rural area in municipality that they have a digital agency section, and they're saying that they're increasingly focused on digital infrastructures such as fiber optics and a lot of the official accounts in line, because they want to attract the young people back to those depopulated cities. But this problem is not a very small problem. If you look at the recent articles published recently in 2026, over 10% of these cities are experiencing serious shrinking. And 90% of the Japanese small and middle cities are actually shrinking, but over 10%. So they experience less than, experience more than 25%, a quarter. So is it a smart city a way to recover depopulation municipality? So we think about, and these articles say that these kind of city need a smart decline version. Okay, we're declining in population, but tech is booming, AI is coming. How can we use multiple strategies to restore the color of the city, liveliness, economy, and the population? So then I came across with this very colorful graphics from PwC Japan in 2026, and it is showing the several steps of the smart city. And I think that these are a lot of the strategies bridging the smart city and longevity and artificial intelligence. So in this presentation, I tried to cover some of the AI companionships and care by showing you the use cases in Japan. And we can see very obviously that there is a predictive healthcare, constant monitoring, and precise prediction and analysis leading to the better healthcare. People are rather leading to how to lead a healthy life rather than how to treat very late disease. So it's changing the current development in Tokyo will show this. And the research in the future will see how technology can compensate for declining fashion individuals and also declining population of the city. So there are memory aids, AI walking sticks, and masks for the movement of the older person. And the last is the age-friendly digital platform for social services. So this is a very inspiring things to talk about. And here you can see the municipalities are transforming into smart city in Japan and also around the world. And this is a different figures. In Asia, 47% of municipalities have a strategy plan. At the same time, they come up with the 75% of government has national plan, Senate. So when we look at Japan and AI adoption in local governments is as of the 2025 October, this has been last year, 74%. I think there will be a drastic change and increase now. in terms of this meso level adoption and also macro level adoption of AI. And when you look at Japan, always we are a little bit looking stagnant and slow behind other super digital countries such as the Korea, Republic of Korea, Singapore, always very, Japan, Singapore, Korea is actually East Asia and also world leading, Taiwan also. But Japan seemed a little slow in the year around the pandemic. But after, I think around the DHEC study has been studied, we are doing some interviews and meeting with the government, and we found very good features. And which is, I think, our speaker has talked about the internet is changing from the previous version of the society 2.0, 3.0 now, this era of API and AI. So what does it mean? This is I think it's a very common word for IT, but I think other field expert maybe application and programming interface, which is what does it mean? This means that all the social services became at the fingertips in the communication apps, which is commonly used in Japan called Line. And this official account is, they didn't disclose how many city has been using this, but I was very surprised with the latest update. 92% of the municipality in Japan up to now is using this. So that changed Japan to be a lot of the smart city. All the information of the people how to use social services is provided here at the fingertips, and that can reach the municipality. And then social services became at the fingertips. So when in case of the disaster, for example, now it's very hot, nobody want to go out. In case of the heavy snow, such a click can bring the social services to the home, like we order the food by delivery. And imagine that in the middle there is a municipality agent, and if we replace this with the AI agent, then whatever you wish, this can be possible. I think this is the coming future. We will see AI and API-driven ecosystem with more convenience that will empower the older people to live independently in their communities. So there is a broad range of the how AI can support and help the older adults living with confidence, health, and happiness. And I will show some the detail of this in the later slides. I think health monitoring and medication reminder, especially the older adults, I think everyone is very forgetful about their medication because they have multiple morbidity, and the AI is never getting tired. And like the human, so this reminder is very important, and a memory support, and then the navigation when they don't remember where to go home, autonomous drive can reach to their home and their destination, and the lifelong learning with an exhausted way. And all of these features can be preserved only with the privacy, dignity, and trust for the AI and respect for the human dignity. So here I would like to introduce our digitally inclusive healthy aging community study. We studied in Japan, Republic of Korea, Singapore, and Thailand. That's 2021, and India joined in 2024, Malaysia, Vietnam, and Nepal, Belgium, Italy in 2026. So I have to acknowledge large number of the academics, professors, students, and stakeholders. And then here, one of the findings I like to share is that we found that smartphone use in this era of application use, digital skills are very important. The first speakers from Singapore has pointed out, the Professor Chine, says that not only the access, the ability of the older person to engage. So in this DHEC study, we used the digital scale measurements, operational skills, information navigation skills, communication skills, and social skills. So we have evidence that operation scale is directly associated with the quality of life because of their daily assistant. The information navigation scale is with the separated health. Communication scale is related to the health promotion participation. The creative scale is seems very attractive, but it's dependent on the content. People say that. So this evidence has been very useful for convincing the establishment and investment of digital literacy training in many cities. We use the example from Korea, Japan, and Singapore to relay the message that why not? Older adults has to learn, upgrade their digital skills. So these are the leaders across Asia, and they are using a variety of approaches but in different contexts for teaching digital skill to older people. For example, in Japan, smartphone meister is very, very famous now. They can make appointment with the smartphone meister. Smartphone meister will help to teach, but at the same time, in rural area, many between peer group is still the main. So what I think is here, the AI agent in the future model, if older person still have a weak digital skill, the generative AI now so that we don't need to type, we can speak it in. It's understanding and it synthesize the different information. So can it be enhancing the information navigation skill and e-health literacy? You're thinking about it then. And more than that is the AI agents, which is now I think very much commonly used in China. So our way of including AI in Japan is more with the social connection because of the policy guidance. In China, we look at that they are most on the daily assisted, so that AI agent can enhance the weaker digital skill and older person to have their daily assisted. So these are some of the example in Japan. You can see that Japan has been investing in private-public partnerships and also municipality reimbursement. Number one, for social connection, because this is this is the sharp generator robo horn. It has a generated AI and Kabi. And when older person lost the spectacle under the bed, so this can search. Here is your spectacle. So this is very human-like communication, and it's connect with the family. And this is the current situation. We're about to go to municipality and do an interview, but I got the appointment next week. So here are 4 kind of services in Shibuya City. Shibuya City is like let's say the New York in the United States. So it's a very good social services because it has a very good economy. So this subsidize these kind of 4 kind of services. The one is called the Halo Light. So what I'm talking is, even if people cannot use the smartphone, a simple light in their room can detect the possible. So people can skip the use of smartphone. Now the interface is changing to be age-friendly interface, simple battery, put in air condition, remote control, and transform the room to be smart home. And this one is now very popular. So, but even it can chat to the Papa who is coming back late. Papa, it's dinner time. You're not at home yet. Such things they can talk to through the chat. So another one is we can see that this last year is room indoor monitoring. So that is very effective for example, is this time of heat wave. So it's changing the temperature and telling this, oh, you need to be cooler. And then we have Japan is very much concerned for frailty. So this Eve Free Navy use the algorithm and it's look at the electronic use and water use to detect the frailty. This is a very new initiative in Japan. And our friends from Tokyo Metropolitan Institute of Gerontology, instead of the measuring frailty, they are using the automated sensor and trying to detect the frailty real time every 30 seconds. And they are receiving the data in the supercomputer. So at the last, we look at what levels does AI operate in aging society. There are individual levels and family levels. The professor from Taiwan say that it's not to replace a human, to assist. So I really create that. And also, we look at how this analysis of the big data, smart city, can make a more precise way of prediction, making policy, improving social services. Then, yesterday I conducted a workshop in my class in gerontology. The course is a class similar, and we brainstorm how AI may reduce inequality and how AI may widen the inequality. So people I think that these are just opinion. We need to wait and see another 3 or 4 years. But there are very encouraging things. Economic inequality can be reduced by AI. But at the same time, the challenge of using AI, the cost is really high now, even with the subsidization. So we hope that the device causes and network causes, maybe when they are selling many devices, the price can be lower. And then we still have to keep this digital literacy training across the cities. And it is very important to have the government program, AI-friendly guidelines and infrastructure investments, so that will ensure no one is left behind, especially no older person is left behind. And this is the vision of building smart cities, means that ensuring no one is left behind. I think time is up, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, that I'm ready to learn from other speakers and from the audience. Ogawa as a picture in our class.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Very informative and integrative the presentations, and also the bill suggests the smart city, the very easily with the AI, and also there are many beneficial the predict by AI, and then also we are the keeping better life the community with the smart city. Thank you so much. Because of the short times, we only the 30 minutes. I mean, hurry up to go to
I think so.
other presentations. Okay, next speaker is Professor Darwin De Silva from Australia. Darwin is a professor AI and analytic discipline Ryan lead and the co-direction of Ratoba AI Institute at the Ratoba University, Australia. And his expertise is in AI, algorithm, systemic, the application, and the ethics. His recent AI project has received the Australian Good Design Gold Award in 2025. And he really worked hard in the research field, and also the education, lots of the students in the Australia. And also he is focused about the care issues for robotics. So today he will deliver the care workforce automatic routine desk, and then identifying the early warning sign of the health decline and the supporting personalized care delivery. And then, okay, and let's invite Professor Darwin De Silva about the AI, his efforts. Time is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Dongi. Thank you, Thelma. And hello, everyone. Thanks for
Hello.
this opportunity. But I'm probably the odd one out. I'm coming from the AI discipline itself. So my expertise is not gerontology or aged care research, but purely AI. So you may have noticed there's many types of AI experts these days. So I'm one of those hard-bolted ones where my expertise is close to 15 years. I've seen the machine learning, I've seen AI being lots of hype. It's still hype in some ways, but also I'm quite active in the Gen AI space, and also my university is very ambitious to become an AI university. So if you want a copy of the slides, you can scan the QR code, also on LinkedIn. So I acknowledge the traditional owners of La Trobe University campuses. It's part of our Australian culture to acknowledge the traditional owners and their contributions to society. A quick bio, as you heard from Dongi. So I've done a few things in AI, and more recently, I write a fair bit to the media and the conversation, mainly because there is huge opportunity, but also huge risk and challenge in AI, especially the suspicion, the fear, and the doubt in society, because the AI companies are purely profit or revenue driven. And that means, they're training on our public data, and they, encroach on our privacy and confidentiality. And there's so many other challenges that sort of dilute the true value of AI. But as you have heard from all the other speakers, and also maybe your experience, AI truly is a generational opportunity to address some of the complex challenges in our socio-technical environments. So La Trobe's leadership in AI, our Vice Chancellor is very supportive of AI. We have an ambitious vision to have AI in all our courses. That includes, so some of you may have met Irene Blackberry, who leads the Australian Institute for Primary Care and Aging, and also several very large grants and projects in aged care sector in Australia. And we also have ARIA, so Aged Care Research and Industry Innovation, which is independent not-for-profit organization for looking at the future of aged care. Just as we heard from all the other presenters, there is a increasing age population. In Australia, it's 17% right now, and maybe 5 or 6% in aged care residences, but it's very close to reaching this super aged care stage at some point, because we have a very large baby boomers as it is across the world, and that population is retiring and looking at how aged care can be utilized for them. So I've just give a bit of a very quick intro to how I define AI. So millions, billions, trillions. This is the true value of AI. So millions of consumers, close to 1 billion people now. Working age population use at least one tool. In Australia, it's quite significant as well. So 58% of adults, and the age group goes up to 75% in the younger group. We don't have data for the aged care demographic, but that's something interesting to explore further. Billions of market value, so all the AI companies are making lots of money. They're also making losses because they have a data center cost to bear. But the promise really is why there is so much investment, because of trillions of expected economic value. And some of this very largely, at least in Australia, there is a huge healthcare cost, and as a subset of that, an aged care cost. So this economic value is in reducing the administrative burden, the care burden, the productivity, the efficiency of this healthcare sector and the aged care sector. So there is a strong interest for the Australian government, whoever is in power, to drive this economic value. And obviously, it's based on really good science, the Nobel Prize winning innovations in 2024 for physics and chemistry, unrelated fields, but it was because how good AI is. So AI is general purpose technology. That's how I would define it very, very simply. It's a generational shift. Some might call it an industrial revolution. So we had the steam engine from manual labor to machine to the use of machines, and then we have electricity, which scaled that up, and then we have electronics, the computer, and then we had connectivity, the internet, and now we have generative AI, which in some ways is some sort of intelligence. I wouldn't, putting my academic research hat on, I wouldn't say it's human intelligence, but it achieves the same outcome through a different route. That's a conversation for another day, how it achieves intelligence. But with this intelligence, we can do many things. And a general purpose technology usually increases productivity across the economy. Every sector is impacted, and that's what we see since 2023. Every sector, every discipline has an AI impact about it. So productivity is time saved or processes becoming efficient. And then innovation is the actual value gain, where you change how you operate. You redesign the organization, you redesign the workflow, you redesign the care management plan. You make a lot more valuable use of the data that's collected, and then you scale it out to millions of aged care residents, where the government can understand trends and patterns and insights a lot more effectively. So that's the innovation. And of innovation comes growth. And obviously, growth is, it can be financial, it can be social, economical, but across all of these, productivity, innovation, growth, there's always risks, and these risks have to be managed. And that's why leaving it purely for commercial enterprise, the frontier AI labs to drive this generational technology is poorly formed, and that's why we need very clear partnerships, government, universities, industry, AI providers, as well as community and society coming together. So on the right side, you can see some of these highlight examples of how AI is changing the disciplines in different spaces. And at the bottom here, AI scribes is the best example for productivity. So I suppose most of us have seen a little microphone sitting on the GP or the consultant or the nurse desk, and that records the entire conversation. So, soon after you have patient empowerment, you have the notes from your GP visit, and it also saves time. So this study, slightly biased study by a clinical note-taking technology provider, Tandem Health, showcases at least 1 hour per day is saved, so a 30% reduction, and also more face-to-face time, because my experience in a GP clinic is the GP is typing and looking at the screen, not really listening to me or engaging with me. So that changes the dynamic within the clinician room, which is an innovation, right? You change how the GP talks to you, which is significant. So defining it, I'm going to skim through this. That's the OECD if you want a formal definition, but it looks very heavy and dense. And my preferred definition is a digital species. So it's a companion or a co-worker, either at your desk inside your computer or in the aged care residence. So the social robots that we saw, the humanoid robots, or it might be just co-pilot inside the computer helping the aged care staff. So this right side, the diagram shows a chatbot. That's our early experience. You have a conversation, and then it moves to an assistant where you can ask them to do certain types of tasks. So schedule a meeting, summarize some documents, create some documents, send some emails, do a bit of desktop research, find some information. And the agent is the more recent innovation. I think Professor Mayo mentioned this. So the agent has some autonomy. They can take decisions. They can reason. They can use the computer, just like we use the web browser. The agent can use the browser, and that's how recently we heard that an AI escaped the OpenAI lab and had a cyber attack on a different third-party organization because it's an agent. It can take decisions. And then physical AI is what's coming up. The best example of this is self-driving cars. We see these in some of the advanced cities. So we can have drones, rovers, humanoid robots serving people in restaurants or in aged care facilities, or having that social interaction with the aged care residents. So that's all, getting information from the physical environment. So lots of risks and challenges. This can be a 3-hour lecture easily, but I'm going to leave it there if you want to have a look at it. So let's look at exemplars. Cutting edge technology, which is leading the aged care sector. So CERA, you may have heard, it is partnered with the NHS in the UK for in-home or at-home aged care support, and they collect lots and lots of data. So 300 billion data points, which helps them to manage the aged care individual in the home itself. So falls detection, and they do this non-intrusively. Lots of companies have cameras and sensors and radar plugged into the home, but CERA is a market differentiator. They look at data collected through house visits. So there has to be a nurse that visits the residence, takes data, and then based on that data, they predict the likelihood. And I just looked up their stats. They have a 97% accuracy because they have they're spread across a large geographic area. LEQ is like your social robot, a companion bot, which encourages people to get active, address some of their symptoms, or manage their medication. We heard about this earlier from the other speakers, and this is a recent world first in Australia, where you can have it's not so much AI, or there is some parts AI, but it's mainly VR, so virtual reality, where it's a train carriage, a fine dining rail carriage, where you can actually visit different countries and sight sounds. And there's human restaurant staff serving that type of cuisine as well. So I think you're familiar with these use cases. I've just grouped them into clinical care workforce, well-being operations, and predicting falls is the most definitive AI application, and any kind of prediction based on past data. So hospital admissions, infections, injuries, bed sores, and so on. The more data you collect, the sharper, the more precise your predictions.
About teaching wale.
Wait,
Yeah, that's someone's mic's on. I think I'm almost at time. So AI should be a co-pilot, just like the assistant or the companion. It's a co-pilot for caregivers. The human expert must be in charge of decisions and actions. And AI can be very effective. It's almost a perfect technology for predictions, early detection, and improving efficiencies in admin work, and also improving residents' independence and well-being with the social interactions. There is also an important piece, governance, which tends to get overlooked, because a technology provider who has a social robot, for example, will oversell this piece. And that's where academia and aged care partnership is important to ensure that there is good research supporting the deployment of this technology, but also there is governance structures. When something goes wrong, who's accountable? Can you go back to the technology provider and ask for explanations, compensation? How is data privacy, safety ensured? And what is the contingent plan for when things go wrong? And because agents are topical, so agents can take decisions by themselves, but that needs to be a safe or human supervised decisions in some ways. So you can monitor multiple data sources and send out an alert, so that the action the agent takes is sending out an alert to a nurse or an aged care worker to inform that there's been a change of this data stream from either the sensors or the wearables that the person is wearing, or some other data source, identify the risks, make recommendations, and coordinate with clinicians. So we do not let the agent take actions, especially in a highly sensitive human environment, such as an aged care residence, but it can send the action or the information and the action to a human decision maker. So that's an example of how that should be. So lots of adoption challenges. I think Professor Mayo spoke to this as well. So it's not the technology itself. AI is good technology, but it's the setting. There's lots of human-to-human interactions, high-stakes care, fragmented workflows, privacy, workforce under pressure. At least in Australia, lots of aged care workers are roster-based and they have tight schedules, and they need to be efficient in the workplace as well. So there is that kind of stress burnout to manage. So some of those best practices, like ensuring data is safe and secure, it's locally hosted in local data centers, bias is addressed of the models, staff are trained, AI literacy for aged care residents, but also staff, both clinicians and care staff, to make sure that the change management piece is there, the cost and infrastructure, governance, accountability, and safety. And finally, I think AI is a workforce multiplier or a general purpose technology that can reduce the burdens of aged care, the care work itself, which is repetitive, routine, and requires additional hands, but it should not impact on the dignity of aged care. So that's how we should try to balance the opportunities and the challenges in this space. So that's just a parting message, and yeah, I might stop there and hand back to Donkey.
Thank you so much. And I'm pretty sorry the limit times. So we are the custom with the DX, but now already AX is started. So that there are many research and also the apply to the AI, the whole our later life. And then thank you so much, Dasun. And we are hurry up to last speaker, the Professor Wu. The mostly we are talking about the AI, but really we invited him talk about the robot, because the robot was so limited the only 5 years ago, but now there are the whole thing, the robot reading the emotion. Also, there are many physical robots. Every country has own their robot to symbol of their country. So robot will be the very important sector in the future. So I'm very happy introduce the Professor Jinso Gu. He is a department of the mechanical engineering at the Tokyo University and Technology in Japan. He received his PhD degree engineering from Tokyo Metropolitan University Japan. His research interests include the human-robot interaction and the computer intelligence, emotional modeling, nonverbal information analysis, and the human-centric robotic. Today, he will talk about the can robot understanding human emotion, AI, and the future of human-centric robotics. Professor Wu, time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for your introduction. Can you see my slide?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jin Gu, and I'm from the Tokyo University of Technology in Japan. So today I would like to talk about the question that has guided much of my researches. Can robot understand human emotions? I will also discuss how AI may shape the future of the human-centric robotics. Before we talk about the robot, I would like to start with what home means in our research. We do not see a home as only a physical space. We see it as a place where people feel comfortable, connected, and cared for. More importantly, we want support to be available without people always having to ask for it. For us, this is what technology in the home should aim to provide. This leads to the central question of today's talk. Could a robot notice our need and offer support as thoughtfully as caring family members? We are not there yet, but this question continues to guide my research. I would like to begin with simple questions. Do you think a robot could notice how you feel? You don't need to answer out loud. Just think about your own answer for a moment. Some of you may say, not at all. A robot may be just a machine. Others say, maybe to some extent. And some of you may feel that already happening. This is already beginning to happen. Please keep your answer in mind. I will return to this question at the end. Can a robot really understand emotions? Let me make one point clear from the beginning. A robot does not feel emotion in the way humans do. Instead, it observes the signal, estimate the user's state, and choose a response. It looks at facial experiment, gaze, human voice, and human gestures and context. No signal sign is reliable enough on its own. So rather than the knowing how someone feels, the robot is estimating and responding. In practice, the system uses the several types of the information like this: the voice, gest, and facial expression, and eye gaze, and conversation context. No signal tells the whole story. So, for example, the close friends also notice several small changes about the face or something at the same time in your face and your voice and in your behavior like that. Maybe the robot follows a similar idea. It combines many small signals to take the one estimation. Before I go further, let me explain what I mean by human-centric robotics.
this side is a traditional robotics. The traditional robotics is mainly designed for tasks, many tasks. It focuses on precision and speed and repeatability, often in a controlled environment. But I think the human-centric robotics are about really about this. The human-centric robotics take a different approaches. It is designed around people. It sense, adapts, and interact in everyday in human environment. This is the direction in which I want our robot to develop. So, how does a robot turn sensor signals into an emotional response? The first, the camera, for example, the camera and microphones and touch sensors and proximity sensor continuously collect the information from the environment or from the humans. And next, the interpretation step combines and weight these signals across cognitive, emotional, and the behavioral component like this. And then at each moment, the strongest component has the greatest influence on the robot facial expression or robot gestures and robot tone or of the voice. This basic idea is simple, but it allows the robot to respond differently in different situations. This is our robot by to make by our hands. This robot, the robot we developed, it uses a smart device as its face and has a 3D printed body like this. Let me highlight 3 features. The first, the smartphone changed its facial expression and the voice to represented 8. This is 8 predefined affected state. The second, the robot has the 8 degree of the freedom in its arm and bodies. This allows it to produce gestures that match its expressions. The third, it is more than a laboratory prototype. It has also grid and guide to visitors at our university open campus events. These 8 effective states are labels used within our models. They should not be understood as a universal classification of the human emotions. So let me introduce one example from our research. We examined how a robot could encourage and the elderly person to be more physically active. So simply, the giving an exercise instruction was not enough. So we designed a more personal and encouraging style of the communication. The approach is the wording of the robot message made a difference. When the robot remembered about the personal information, offered the encouragement, and gave the positive feedback, the user found the exercise more enjoyable. They also showed the greater interest in the continuing. One more of our research. Let me now introduce some of the more recent work. This study focused on the eye gaze rather than the voice or facial express like this. It is often difficult to know what someone is interested in unless they tell us directly. To address this, we use the mixed reality headset to track where the user was looking based on the eyesight. The main finding was simple. User preferred information related to what they were actually looking at, rather than the generic information. A single robot can demonstrate the basic idea, but the future of this research goes beyond one robot. I imagine a continuous support system built around the persons, like this. The wearable device can monitor the physical and the behavioral changes. A smart home can adjust the environment in real time. The AI can learn the pattern and adapt its support over time. And mobility technologies can extend their support beyond at the home. This is what I mean by the future of the human-centric robotics. Not one intelligent robot, but a connected supporting the environmental built around the human like this. So why does this matter, especially in elderly care? Today, many societies face a shortage of the caregivers, increasing the social isolation and delays in detecting the important warning signs. Robots cannot solve all of these problems, but however, they may help by providing social engagement, noticing behavioral changing earlier, and offering the personalized communication and the reminders. We also need to remember that the people expectations differ across the cultures. The idea about the privacy are not the same everywhere. The communication style vary across cultural regions and the individuals. People also have the different expectation about when a robot should offer the help and how it should offer the help. I would be very interesting to hear how these issues are viewed in the place and where you live and work. Before I conclude, I would like to offer the balanced view. The first, the personal data from daily life must be carefully protected. And second, there is a risk of the overtrust. People may rely too heavily on a robot judgment, even when that judgment is incomplete or wrong. AI-based estimation are never perfectly accurate. The human oversighting, therefore, remains essential. The goal is not to replace human relations. The goal is to help caregivers and the family members to provide more attentive support. This idea is also reflected in the name of my laboratory, the human-centered keyword. This is AI-based estimate are never perfectly accurate. Human oversight remains essential. This is a take-home message. At the beginning, I asked him whether a robot could notice how you feel. Here is my answers. A robot may never truly feel emotions in the way humans do, but it can help us understand people better. It may notice the small changes that we could override miss, and this may help us provide more thoughtful and timely support to the people we care about. So perhaps the question is not whether a robot can feel emotions. Perhaps the more important question is whether it can help us care for people better. Thank you very much for your attention. I would be glad to hear your thoughts. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The very limited time that you explain all things. Yes, the robot may never feel emotion, but it can be the tool that helps us understand the people better. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
And then even we have over the time, but one or two questions we would like to have this session. So do you have any questions? Okay. Today it is very Ashi, could you open your camera, please? Yeah. So there is a question from India, the Professor
Yes,
Ashi.
hi.
Hi.
Hi, good
Hi,
morning.
Ashish.
I just wanted to ask,
Yes, please. Ashi?
Oh, he's freeze.
so are there any things that they should keep in mind, they should be careful about to keep to remain safe in today's world?
Actually, we couldn't listen the questions because the sound is not connecting. So please, one more time, talk about your question, please.
So I have written my question on the chat as well, but I wanted to ask, am I audible?
Yeah, yes, Ashish. Ashish,
Yeah,
we
so
can
I
hear
wanted
you.
to ask, are there any considerations that older people should keep in mind while interacting with artificially intelligent systems and robots? Are there any quick take-home points that they can keep in mind while being interacting with AI so that they can be safe and they do not get their data or privacy or themselves breached?
Okay. Could you answer the question from our speaker?
So any of the experts on AI, anybody? I mean, it's an open question to everyone, not specific to anybody.
Professor Ashay, thank you very much. So this is very I will answer just important point of view, but that may not cover everything. I think interacting with Gen AI, now is a large language model very easy. People can search the information and interact with the AI. One of the high risks is the polarization. Because AI don't interact with you in a very opposite way mostly. And I think Professor Wu has also mentioned that, and we heard from the professor from Australia. So I think it's very important to keep the human connection at the same time and to have the human confirmation on this information. So sometimes it can be very much polarized. Many social media saying that their algorithm is trying to design not to be polarized, but to stay there is a reason. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So today, we didn't talk about the ethic issue, but in the near future, we talk about the ethic issues. AI with the older person is also the very important
Right.
area. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And what do you think about this is a close up or the more talking about this today? Okay, then what about the Thelma in the
Okay.
summary about our session?
Okay. Thank you, Dong Hee. Okay, am I on?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Dong Hee. This has been an overwhelmingly wonderful session. And we, on behalf of Dong Hee and I and ACAP, we want to thank all the wonderful speakers for their rich presentations on different subjects which have covered AI so well. We are very pleased as ACAP to be able to host this far-reaching, I think, forward-looking webinar. Hope to do more of the same. Just some quick points. First of all, I think
AI is something that is here, not something for the future. So we have to recognize that. And then we have to ensure that how can we ensure that AI does help influence aging in ways that genuinely improve people's lives. And that's where the ethical questions come in later on, which we didn't have enough time to cover. I think another point I want to make, and many speakers have made, is that AI should be human-centered. Technology should adapt to people, not the other way around. So since I will end with one concluding thought, and that is, let me leave you with this challenge that throughout history, every technological revolution has raised concerns, but it also has opportunities. So AI is no different. I think let us leave today with this challenge. We have to accept that our challenge is not to resist AI, but to embrace and harness it to create a world where AI helps people age with health, independence, and dignity. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you so much.
One more point, and this is that the proceedings of this webinar will be in the ACAP newsletter, right? So please watch out for this newsletter. And then, as I mentioned before, and Pei Shan has emphasized, we are going to be having the ACAP conference in Taiwan in March 17 to 19 in 2027. So please join ACAP and join us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, true.
Thank you, Thelma.
Hi,
And
Thelma.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thelma and Donghi. May I?
Yeah, that like
Thank
you.
the
Thank you so much for everything.
So
Thank
everybody,
you,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And we are continually implementing
Bye
about
bye.
AI, about the
Yeah.
newsletter. So keep in touch. And then everyone, thank you so much. Even it is very hot summertime, but you join. And also the distinguished guest speaker, you are really good presentations. I'm very appreciated
That's
your
true.
contribution.
Yeah.
So the AI is very important to challenge of the later life for the person. So AI is not tool, AI is the environment and the culture. So don't forget that. Let's try our best for the person to make better life. Thank you so much.
And
Bye-bye.
this webinar has been recorded, so you can tell your friends that if they have not been able to join us today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, Thelma and Donghi. Even
Thank you.
with my
Thank
low
you for
vision, but I
all the
tried.
support
I
from
miss you all
everybody.
the
I
time.
tried to attend. Even I understand that it is for me, I'm still left behind. But I will
No,
try.
no.
You always touching our mind.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
joining.
We already record this meeting on YouTube, so you
Your
can join us.
project also appreciate.
Thank you, Susiana.
Thank you, Susiana.
Thank you all.
Thank
you,
you.
Donghi.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Lucy.
See
Bye-bye.
you in Taiwan next year. Okay.
Some of you have asked how to join ACAP. Please
Yeah, sure.
contact Catherine Brown
Okay.
Okay.
in Hawaii to join ACAP. Okay.
Yoshiko.
Yeah.
Take care of your health. The hot
Thank
summer
you.
time.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Catherine K. Brown at hawaii.edu to join ACAP.
Okay. Okay.